Hi, I'm Dan, and today I would like to discuss with you intimacy. And my lecture is going to focus on emotional intimacy, but there are two types of intimacy: physical and emotional. Physical has to do with proximity, how close you are to someone in the physical sense, and emotional has to do with sharing personal feelings, and it's more just like you feel the closeness, but not necessarily in like a literal sense. Now, intimacy and developing intimacy is very important to discuss because it's a necessary component of relationships. People who are able to be intimate are able to are able to develop strong bonds with each other, and they're able to discuss personal matters appropriately. And I, for one, know when I have a personal issue and I'm not open about it, it makes me depressed, and it's just very important to be open about your issues, and to be intimate with someone to the level that you can discuss with them your issues in order for you to get better. And the issue of intimacy is a universal issue. It affects everyone going through adolescence. Okay, so an intimate relationship is one basically that is characterized by an emotional attachment, concern for another's well-being. You are willing to disclose private information, and you have shared interests and activities. And I would like to now discuss common theoretical frameworks. And an interesting framework that I came across was the triangle of love, which describes love as having three components: passion, intimacy, and commitment. And intimacy being very important because it develops the necessary closeness there is to have true love. And now, if you only have commitment and passion, you will develop what is known as a fatuous relationship, which is, by definition, silly and pointless. And it's like this because you need the intimacy in order to develop the true connection needed to make the relationship last. And another framework to discuss would be Sullivan's, who talked about how in pre-adolescence, intimacies within same-sex peers, and within early adolescence, certain people may begin to branch out to having intimacy with opposite sex, leading to, for heterosexuals, relationships. And another framework is Erikson, who believed that you need to develop your own identity before you can be intimate, or else you are at risk for pseudo-intimacy. And also, a key aspect of intimacy is conversation, which can result in, if you don't have that conversation aspect, it's more difficult to become intimate. And actually, long-distance relationships can be stronger than normal relationships because you need to enhance your conversation in order to be successful, and in doing that, you are becoming more intimate with each other. Just another interesting fact, it's people who are in a relationship, the one who is more emotionally invested has more emotional intimacy, is often viewed as not viewed as the person in power, because they would have to give up more in order to be at the same level as the other person. So that's why it's important to be on the same page emotionally when you're in a relationship. And also, social norms can affect intimacy. For example, if you have a man who is homophobic, he will feel uncomfortable discussing intimate topics with another man, and he'll only discuss intimate topics with women. And currently, in today's world, emotional intimacy is viewed as an important part of a relationship, and it should be practiced. So at this point of the lecture, I would like to now discuss studies. The 5-item emotional intimacy scale lists 5 components. These components are asked to the people taking the study, who are then to think about how those components relate to their relationship. And the answers are compiled, and ultimately the study is used to see if there's any correlations between intimacy and other things. So the 5 components are: this person completely accepts me as I am. I can openly share my deepest thoughts and feelings with this person. This person cares deeply for me. This person would willingly help me in any way, and my thoughts and feelings are understood and affirmed by this person. The studies showed a positive correlation between intimacy and social support, self-efficiency, and life satisfaction, as well as other positive effects. And the study also showed a decrease in intimacy to relate to higher stress, pain, and fatigue in the individual. All of these factors together show that an intimate relationship gives a purpose and belonging to someone's life, which increases the well-being of that person. So many other studies have been done addressing the quality of relationships with respect to the levels of intimacy the partners feel. And throughout these studies, a strong correlation can be seen between happier, more satisfied couples and higher levels of intimacy. So, unfortunately, there are some shortcomings, and it's that we still don't know exactly how each race is affected by emotional intimacy, as the studies are normally restricted to the races they include. So at this point, I would like to discuss implications. As I've said, intimacy is a very important element of adolescence. It's very healthy to be open with others and to be able to discuss how you're feeling with others. It's also important to be on the other side of things, and if someone's opening up to you, to be able to listen and give your take on the situation. In terms of relationships, it's important to practice emotional intimacy. A lack of emotional intimacy could be helped by taking the time to discuss intimacy throughout the relationship. Also, talking about problems as soon as they come about is important in relationships. So just being honest and often having many conversations and appreciating your partner is important in order to keep stable emotional intimacy. Researchers should know that intimacy has effects on adolescent relationships that should be fully understood in order to progress the field further. And I would like to see some research done to see whether or not people who are more intimate live longer. Okay, so thank you for listening to my lecture. Hope you learned something about intimacy, and thank you.